Hey everyone, Dan Carson here. Welcome to the BYOB show. Big week this week. I just had a birthday on Tuesday, September 7th. So got to spend some time with my family over the weekend. No big plans. I'm usually one of those guys that, likes to have everything taken care of for me. And like on my birthday, like my biggest thing is like, hey, I don't want to make any decisions. I don't want to choose anything. So my wife was awesome. Like we didn't have any big plans. We got to kind of relax and chill and spend some time with the family. Then had a dinner on Tuesday night with some close friends, and that was great. So kind of made it into the week, and I love this week because it's got the start of football coming back. Huge football fan. And we get to watch our Dallas Cowboys take on the world champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers tonight. So it's like a big week, lots of celebrations, kind of everything changing, kind of getting back into the fall season, which I feel like in Dallas, like fall is one of the best times of year here. That's when you got football going on. You can sit on a patio. You can have a fire going. It's where you get to go. You can camp. You can hunt. You can kind of spend more time outdoors and not feel like you're going to melt or have to jump into a pool to survive the day. So I love the fall and I love this time of year. And it's a time of change, season changing. You got the leaves falling, autumn coming, and with change, comes opportunity. So last week we talked about communication. If you didn't get a chance, check it out. I talked about some failures that I was having internally in my communication and how to solve for better communication within your team. I hope that everybody gets a chance to check that out. See what we talked about last week and see how, if you can implement it into your team or your business, and some of the feedback that I gave from, again, learning from my own mistakes to help out everyone else. So that being said, this week we're going to talk about when you're running your own business, you got to have, and you're building a team or you're running yourself and your brand, you have to have the energy to build that. And a lot of energy comes from working out, taking care of yourself, having self-discipline. And so I'm going to talk about some of the things that I've learned here recently from some self-discipline and the benefit that it has to long-term goals, and then kind of tracking, seeing success, measuring success. Because a lot of times when you're running a team, running a business, the first thing that people forget about is themselves. Saying, oh, I don't have time for this because of this. I don't have time for this because I'm so busy at work, or I'm so busy trying to get clients or selling or with paperwork. There's always an excuse to not take care of yourself. We're all, like me personally, I was one of those guys that took a lot of time to figure out the only way to get to the end of the journey is to celebrate the journey and the process of getting there. I had a good friend, I don't know if I've shared this with anybody before, but it said to learn to kiss the waves that threw you up against the rocks. That's a great comment. Because you get to appreciate the process, appreciate the journey of getting to an end goal. So I love myself, get to a point from a health standpoint. I always took care of myself. I was a decent athlete, and I was forced to, by playing sports, stay in decent shape, take care of myself. As I got into the kids and school, like kids going into school and managing our business, I kind of let that go away. And I wasn't unhealthy, but I wasn't a picture of health either. So we've tried everything. We've got a Peloton bike. We've, have a gym in our house, have a rower, and used them sporadically. It was kind of one of those like once a week, maybe twice a week kind of things, but didn't really feel like I was getting anywhere. So I said, I need to do something. My wife and I, funny enough, were sitting around drinking wine one night, and we ended up buying a machine, Tonal, which I will talk about more on the show, but it's literally been kind of a game changer. But in what it really came down to is that's the machine I've been using, and the tool that I've been using. But I set some kind of commitments that started this health journey and kind of put me in a better place. One, if you're trying to get yourself into a position of health, you got to recognize like, hey, I need to be healthier so I can be better for the people around me. If I'm going to build a business, I have to have the energy and I have to have the self-discipline to jump ahead of the other people to reach my long-term goals. You don't have to be an Energizer bunny, that's not what I'm saying, but you have to wake up every day and have the energy to go perform and execute at a really high level so that people get the best version of you all the time. So it's now at a point where I don't feel like I'm complete until I've done my workout for the day. And what I did is not just like from a self-discipline, from a workout physical standpoint, but I put some self-disciplines into my daily portion. So you have habits, there's tons of books on habits. There's essentialism, like there's which basically kind of says a great book for habit forming. If anybody wants to read it, Essentialism. That's one that kind of talks about, 60 days to change any habit and focus on one thing at a time and get there. And you really have to recognize that you have the need for change. So many times people are like, oh, I'm good enough. I'm okay. I do this enough. When honestly, like our health, like we've got one engine, we've got one body, and that's what's going to get us through as long as possible, especially with, everything going on from a health perspective that's impacting our society today. There's no better time to start taking care of yourself than now. Like get your weight under control, get your body under control. That's not saying there's anything wrong with, being overweight or having weight challenges or having diet challenges. But it's always going to be restrictive, to not take care of yourself. So I'm going to focus on health a little bit here. I'm going to talk a little bit of like health, overall health, but I want to kind of set some ground rules for self-discipline that I think can help you benefit for your long-term goals, because these same self-discipline benefits are self-discipline plans can play into how you go and execute on a daily basis. If you say like, hey, theme your days, you're going to do the same thing every day, the same way, same time, like having consistency creates predictability, which you can measure and track results. So that's really what this is all about. So I recognize, so the first thing I did, I recognized that I was not where I wanted to be health-wise, and I'm still not, but I'm in the journey now to get to the end. So I recognized that I had an issue. Then I decided like, hey, I need to have some formalized commitments. So me personally, what I did is I said, all right, I'm going to do 45 minutes of cardio and I'm going to lift. And the 45 minutes of cardio really came from my coach. And what I did is I started listening to audiobooks, and I was either walking or running for 45 minutes. I was supposed to do 3 days a week. And I said, listen, I'm going to do every day a week until I feel like I've dropped the pounds that I want to do. And it's really, once you start doing it, it's not that hard. Taking 45 minutes, like there's tons of research that supports you saying 45 minutes in solitude or being outdoors. And that's the other thing is I do that 45 minutes outdoors. So I'm either walking, running, biking, doing something cardio related. That is, I'm listening to an audiobook and I'm outdoors, walking, running, biking. And so that was commitment one, 45 minutes of cardio, doing it daily. And it's amazing, even just doing the walking, what it can do for your health. I mean, you're basically going to knock out 3 miles or more in that time period, and you're going to start seeing results pretty quickly. The next is and I also said I want to lift at least 4 days a week and plan on 5. So I I've done all those things, and I've had some pretty amazing success at it so far. And so that lifting I'm doing with that tonal machine, and which is great because there's programs you can roll in. It's got metrics based information. I'm actually to where you can kind of track and measure your results. So I'm pulling up my results right now, and since I got started, I've done. So I bought the machine. It came in June 18th. It took about 3 months to get there. And it doesn't matter if you do tonal, if you get a bar and start doing CrossFit workouts, just figure out, do something. Like set a commitment, do it. Mine was going to be that I was going to do one tonal workout, whether it be, so do the cardio and then do something tonal related every day. And my goal is to do it for a year. So I started that on June 18th, and I am now 86 days in. So I haven't done my workout yet today. I've done 86 workouts. I've lifted 723,000 pounds in that time frame. So it tracks your poundage. So it's 13 weeks straight. It tracks you on a leaderboard based off the number of days and the amount of time that you've done it. So in the last 30 days, I basically have spent 15 hours on that machine. So if you think about it, 15 hours, that's like 30 to 45 minutes a day. That is not as bad as it seems. You can get a lot done. So here we go. There's the tonal. You can kind of see what it looks like. There's not really a lift that you can't do on it. It's one of those subscription. It's somewhat expensive to get done, but it's not any more than you'd spend on a gym. So that's what I decided to go with. You got to have some room for it. It's, the thing's been amazing. So this isn't meant to be a commercial for tonal, but I can literally say, like, I went a long time where I had all the tools and everything, and this has been the one thing that I was able to commit to really easily. And the other people that I know that use it love it as well. And it's been a great thing for my health, and that's helped me along on the commitment and the journey that I'm on. So, so I set commitments. I said I'm going to do the cardio. So I recognized I had a need. I set the commitments, and then I came up with a plan, which was basically like, hey, I'm going to listen to an audiobook while I do my cardio, and then I'm going to do one tonal workout a day. And that doesn't mean I'm always lifting. There's stretching, there's mobility classes, there's yoga, there's all sorts of different courses that are on there. Kind of similar to like Peloton. So if you have a Peloton bike or you have a mirror or any of the other machines, like just set a plan, say you're going to do it, and get after it. And have it be somebody else make it up. I mean, for a long time, I would show up to the gym and be like, oh, I played sports. I know how to get a good workout in. I know how to work certain muscle groups. But if you just follow somebody else's plan, then it's one less thing you have to think about. That's the best thing I can do. If you want to follow like a book and have kind of a unique athletic training plan, Tim Grover's an author. He's written several books that I like from a mindset perspective. But he also has a book called Jump Attack that has really good workouts. A lot of them are lightweight or body weight. This is what Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant used when they were athletes. And I've done them myself, and they're not anything that the average Joe couldn't complete themselves. And it's got suggested like workouts in between. If you play soccer on weekends, you play softball, baseball, whatever it may be, you can work. It's got time to work in other workouts there. So there's some resources that you may want to take on or look into to try to help you. So the hardest part of doing all that is actually like committing. Jocko Willich he's got a book called Decide, Commit, Succeed. So you decided that you had an issue, you committed to a plan in making those commitments, and then you have to see through them to succeed. And I feel like that's what you do with your health. It can be in having any kind of issue that you want to solve. That's the approach that you have to have. You have to decide that you're going to do something about it. You have to commit to a plan, and then you have to go. The plan's going to fail. You're going to have obstacles along the way. Like, hey, I want to lift 5 days a week. So, okay, what if I travel? Okay, the great thing about the tonal is it's got a on the go portion on it where I can do body weight exercises, HIIT exercises. So you're going to make certain sacrifices. So you may not get the actual like gains or results that you want from doing something like that, but you have to understand that there's going to be some built-in flexibilities that you have to pursue in whatever you do. So this is I'm going to pull up some other metrics. So that's the other thing is like being able to track those results and like setting a plan. You know, my goal, I've got two big health goals. One is to dunk before I'm 40. I've got a bet with a buddy that he's a really interesting guy, and he said there's not a chance, and so we've got a running bet on that. And another one is I'm a big guy, so I'm 6'2". I was up to about 247 at my highest weight, and I'm down to about 215 now, and I want to get under 200 pounds again. So like those were my goals that I wanted to work towards. And I feel like if I continue to follow the plan that I will meet or exceed them, and I'll update people along the way if I ever, have a day where I can actually celebrate meeting the goals. So to track some of the body weight things, there's plenty of different resources on Amazon where you can buy a scale that has some digital data that's nice to have and track. I wouldn't recommend stepping on the scale every day, and I wouldn't expect for it to go down every day. I mean, there's weeks where my weight will go up and then I'll shoot down a week later. And so it's been kind of like if you're looking at a curve, it's going to go kind of flat, plateau, and down, flat, plateau, and down. But, overall, BMI is down, body fat's down. This is a scale that tracks everything from your BMI, body fat, your fat-free body weight, your subcutaneous and visceral fat, the amount of water that you consume, skeletal muscle mass. I use one. It's called RenPro, R-E-H. Hold on, let me make sure. RenPho. It's just what my wife bought, so I'm just following her lead on that. But there's a lot of different apps that are out there to be able to track that and kind of measure some of the results of what you do. So it's I think it like anything, you have to have measurability. They say goals are SMART, specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, timely, and time sensitive, and of course I can't think of the last one, but it's one of those things where you set those goals. When you plan your commitments, you have your plan, and then you go track and execute and move forward from there. So you can do that with anything that you're going to do from a self-discipline standpoint, whether it be hey, I'm going to read this number of books in a month. Whether or not, like every morning, like say you want to read the Bible every day, like set a rule. Like my rule is no word, no work. If I don't read the Bible, I don't get to work for the day. So I just kind of have specific boundaries that I set, because I realize that I'm not a great. I'm more of a self-saboteur than a self-helper. So if I don't have rules in place that I kind of set from a mental standpoint, I'm going to fail those rules regardless, but at least I know that I'm pursuing them on a daily basis. When I take my kids to school, we talk about what we're grateful for every morning. That's what we do on our way to school. It's one of my favorite things to do is have my kids tell me 3 things that they're grateful for every day, and we talk about it on the way to school. Now that's having just like a set thing that's a rule for every day. It makes a big difference for people. So whenever you're looking at self-discipline, and whether it be for your health, whether it be for things that you want to learn or build or grow, you got to recognize that you want to change there. You want to have a commitment, have commitments or like core commitments that you will not break in order to meet or exceed those goals. You have to have a plan that you're able to track metrics on and build a plan around. And then you have to have a way to track those metrics and plans so that you can review. And then you want to share the results with people as you get opportunities to do so. Because let's all face it, like when something's going good or you're being successful, it's kind of nice to like share it with other people and humble brag. And because getting the good vibes that come from having those conversations pushes you to continue it, and it can get the opportunity to have accountability partners, other people that do the same thing. And if you recognize that you want to make a change, want to do something, or if you want to call me, talk one-on-one about it, again, I'm available for everyone. And this is about giving you tools and resources so that you have the energy to continue to grow and build whatever you want to do in your business life. So that's a little bit about what I've been experiencing over the past few months. And I think it's going to be, a continuous journey for me. And that's part of what I love. I love the grind. I love the journey. I love the days where it feels like hard to get to go do something and then go in to do it, because then it shows you like, man, it wasn't really that bad. And, that's the way life is. It's like there's going to be days where you don't want to do things where, they say eat the frog, where you do the worst thing first. That's part of what it is. But eventually you find yourself loving the grind. You find yourself incomplete without that grind or that process. And, I hope that somebody hears like, hey, like he has good results, like it's over almost 30 pounds that have in since June 18th. So it doesn't take much. You just work hard, do the right things. I haven't really like gone on a crazy diet or anything. I just said, hey, I'm going to up the energy, and some of the other steps worked itself out on its own, So it's something that I hope other people get to experience, can share those experiences with me, and move along from there. So again, big weekend this weekend. We got football coming back, things going around. I hope that everybody on Saturday recognizes September 11th, what our country went through, and the people that lost their lives in that attack, and that we get an opportunity to celebrate and mourn them at the same time. It's something that impacted our country forever. And I hope that people get a chance to recognize that and think about it. And football is, I remember, I was coming out of football practice when I found out about it. My coach came in the room and he said, hey, our Twin Towers were just attacked. And, remember being in class that day and seeing everything going on. And you'll never forget where you were if you were old enough to remember when that day hit. And it was a very difficult time for our country, but you saw our country come together in a way that I thought was really, really, really awesome. And I've got a good buddy that played in, I think it was Nebraska and Rice played in the first sporting event after that. And I've got one of my best friend's brothers and one of my friends both played in that game. And, they said that was kind of like, it felt like a healing moment. They had the flyovers and everything, and they felt like it was such an honor to be a part of like the first big event since that happened. And the awesome thing about it was that it happened. We didn't shut down. We didn't stop. We felt like, hey, we had something that we could bring America together. And sports has always been one of those things. Physical fitness, activity, that's always going to be something that brings people together. And, we've got a great opportunity to come together over the fall. You saw stadiums going crazy this weekend. I love seeing packed stadiums, sports going on. I'm not going to get political and talk about anything from mask, no mask, or whatever. I just want to say it's great to see people out in full force celebrating their teams, cheering, having a good time. I hate some of the videos that came out from some of the pro sports teams and fights in the stands and whatnot. That's ridiculous. I hope that we can get over that and get back to having a great time, being Americans, celebrating sports, enjoying each other's company, and moving forward. And hope everybody has a great weekend enjoying that. And I look forward to the next show. Again, this isn't rocket science. I'm not the brightest guy in the room. I'm just going to share what I've learned from my mistakes and my experiences. And I appreciate everybody hanging in with me while I get a chance to do it. So have a great week. See y'all next time.